Well, it's that time in the show for my go-to Hollywood gal. Not only does she travel, not only does she talk to the stars, but she's also my girlfriend. Hey, Tara.
And I think that's the most important one out of all those you just listed.
You are so sweet. You are so sweet. Hey,
okay, can I talk about your hair real quick?
Why not?
Are you a blonde? I knew you'd finally fall in line with the rest of us.
Well, I tell you, you have been my inspiration. You and Khloe Kardashian.
Oh, great.
No, listen, the one thing, the Kardashians definitely got their hair down, you know? It's like they've got a good beauty team, and I was inspired when I saw, of course, you always, who look amazingly beautiful at all times, but I really loved the ombre look, and so I've been talking about it for so long that when I said I'm going to change my hair online, everyone goes, ombre, you know, with question marks, like, really? We didn't know this was coming?
Okay, so explain to your listeners, like my husband, who have no idea what ombre means.
Ombre is, well, if you've seen Kim Kardashian or Khloe Kardashian walking around or on the cover of everything or you watch TMZ at all, their hair right now is considered ombre. It's like if you were going to start with the dark at the top and slowly work your way down and fade to blonde, so to speak. And I started at 10 o'clock yesterday morning and I didn't finish till 6:30 last night.
Oh, come on.
No, well, it took a long time, but you know what? It's easy to maintain now because it just sort of like grows out and you either keep it blonde on the bottom or you let it go back dark.
So essentially it's the haircut and color for the person who can't really make up their mind, is what you're saying.
It's a look. It's a look. And I thought what better week to have the look than Grammy week, right?
I know. I know you've gone. You know what's funny? I just got back from the Broadcast Film Critics Award show, which was last week in California. I've never been to the Grammys.
Are you kidding me?
No, I watch it on television, of course, but I've never been.
Oh, my gosh. Well, I'll have to tweet with you.
Well, who are you most excited? I know that. What is the big award? Is it Record of the Year usually? That's kind of the biggie.
Well, yes, that and New Artist. Did you happen to see that article in USA Today this morning about all the past snubs for Best New Artist?
I know. That's why if you get snubbed, it's not the end of the world.
No, I'm telling you, when we talked to you about Bruno Mars, I mean, he got snubbed because Esperanza Spalding had won and beat him out, but it hasn't hurt his career any. So whether you win or you don't win, I think you're in good company.
I think so, too. It's a tough one, though, but I have to tell you, I'm looking over the different nominees. I don't know who you're picking because there are a lot of talented folks, and I know you tend to... go toward the country or the Nashville, Knoxville.
Well, not necessarily. That's not, I'm an R&B girl. I just happen to also love country,
I'm going with Macklemore and Ryan Lewis this year.
Yeah, that's not a bad choice. That is not a bad choice. Honestly, I don't know. There's a lot of people who listen, and I'm a music person. So to me, I embrace or I fall in love with a particular song or a sound, and that's how it goes. So I'm not just stuck to one genre.
So what is your song of the year then? You've got, I'll just read the nominees for those of you in your car listening.
Yes.
You've got Pink, Just Give Me a Reason. You've got Bruno Mars, Locked Out of Heaven. You've got Katy Perry's Roar. You've got Royals. And you've got Same Love. What do you think?
It's a tough one. Of course, I love Katy Perry, and I just got to meet her at the UNICEF function, in New York for the Snowflake Ball. And Roar is such an anthem. So I would have to say for girl power out there, and because she's just become an ambassador for UNICEF, and I'm getting ready to go into the field, I'm going to pick Roar.
You know what? I'm going to pick Roar too. I love her. Love her.
Well, you were easy.
I know. Record of the Year. I actually have a friend, for those of you listening, Nathan East. He's one of the best musicians out there. He's got a new CD coming out. He's going to be actually performing with Daft Punk. So you'll see him up on stage when they do Get Lucky. They're performing it, I think, at the ceremony, and he will be there.
I love it. That sounds good to me. So who do you think is going to look amazing?
What are you wearing?
I'm wearing a sapphire-colored Zac Posen.
Oh, my God. Do you know Zach personally? Is this one of those things? See, this is why it's great to be you. You get fitted, and if you send it to you and all that stuff.
No. I actually own this dress. This is, some people get dresses for free, and then some of us have to go out there and find our dresses ourselves and pay for them like real people.
And then, not to plug my Facebook page, but can I tell you, I received a lot of comments on the dress I wore to the Broadcast Film Critics Award.
By the way, I know. Go ahead, though. You tell.
$41.
And it was hot. It really was.
I kind of showed a little cleavage. I don't normally do that, but I kind of went there this time. So anybody, if you're bored, get on Facebook.com/Tara TV. Look at that black dress, and just remember, $41, people.
Well, you're always good at finding a deal.
I got lucky with this one, though.
Well, now I know you're going to the Super Bowl.
My cousin works at MetLife Stadium, and my stepson, Dane, I'm bringing my oldest stepson. One of my friends, Lori McAllister, her company, M Scenic, helps with the halftime show. Speaking of Bruno Mars, who's performing at the halftime show. So he is going to work with her. I'm just going for the fun, and I'm hoping not to freeze my butt off.
So are you outside or are you inside?
Well, here's how I roll, Moll. Okay. What I usually do is I go a few days before the game, and then your friend Tara takes that first flight out on Sunday morning so she can watch the game from the comfort of her own home.
Oh, you are so funny.
But I've been there for the fun. So I'm indoors, I guess, technically, for the game.
Well, I don't blame you, because I will be comfortably on my couch, probably in Dallas.
Who are you rooting for? All your listeners, I'll bet you're split right down the middle. Who are you rooting for?
No, honey, we're a Peyton Manning family. You have to understand. Peyton went to Tennessee, and he and Charlie are buds. So we are Denver all the way.
You know what? For a brief moment, I forgot that connection you guys had. Yeah, I'm rooting for the Broncos too. Two of my sisters live in Denver. I've been a fan of his forever. I just think he's classy, he's funny, he's smart. Although Brock Osweiler, Denver's backup, is an ASU guy, big Arizona guy, and people still love him here.
I know. And I love a guy from Arizona, but my heart is with the Mannings.
Yeah, I don't think Brock will be seeing much playing time, but at least he'll get a ring if they win.
I know. Well, what else is going on? I understand you got your first magazine article out.
Inspired by my friend Moll to brand myself, because you're all about branding. Yes, Phoenix Magazine. You can't get the article online, but if you're in the area, you can order one. It's my first Tara's Big Travels, and it's about the trip. Remember when I saw you and your husband at your Knoxville home, we picked up our Harley from Knoxville Harley, and we did, for the first time, the Blue Ridge Parkway.
I know. And you know what? People pick up this article or, go online and read it, because honestly, it's something I didn't even know about. When I told my husband what you were doing, he's like, oh, yeah, I know all about that. Of course, I didn't know, and I live there. It's in my backyard. But I thought it was really fascinating. And I think people would really love to hear about your adventure, because I think it's something fun that they could maybe put on their bucket list, something kind of outside of the box, so to speak, to go do.
Well, that's just it. And you and I have talked before on your show about this. It's every year, especially when the new year hits, it's that time to kind of think through what you did last year, what you don't want to do, the same that you did last year, the things that you want to try. It is about thinking outside the box, getting outside of your comfort zone, and doing something you wouldn't normally do, although it's not skydiving, and I'm not there yet, but getting on the back of a Harley and taking a vacation and packing and being limited to what you can pack because you have this little side bag that you can fit everything in, is a little bit different for me, and it's just turned into one of the neatest things we do as a couple. And I think, in general, the idea is just to think a little bit differently and try something a little bit new if you can. And you know what? It doesn't cost a lot of money. In this case, you rent a Harley. We're going to little B&Bs along the way. It was a very affordable trip.
Well, tell me this, because now you guys rode on the same bike. I think I remember seeing the pictures. So I like the togetherness time. It's like, for those who are maybe working on a relationship, it could be fun, because there you are, cuddled up. It's like spooning on a bike.
I like that. It's like spooning on a bike. Yeah, the bike that we picked, for anybody familiar with Harleys, we had the electric glide this time. I felt like I was in a lazy boy. The only problem for me was I was so busy turning back and forth taking pictures that I think I pulled something in my back for a few hours because I just kept, everywhere you look, there was scenery and foliage and vistas, and it was beautiful. But
the Smoky Mountains are beautiful.
Right.
Yeah.
We have the helmets that you can talk to each other. So it's just the two of you. And you can talk to each other if you want. I have a feeling, although he would deny it, there were probably a few times he said he accidentally turned off the thing just so he didn't have to listen to me, but don't quote me on that.
Well, now, for those listeners that have no clue, when you say rent a bike, what are we talking price range?
We're talking several $100. It's kind of like renting a car. It's no different really than renting a car. A little bit more depending on if you've got your car on Priceline or Kayak.
But don't you have to have a license? Don't you need a special license to do this?
You do, yeah, of course you do. Yeah, you do, and that's a great point. My husband actually, I could not ride one. He can ride. I think it took him it might have taken him a full solid weekend or maybe two to get that license. He did that years ago. Just now he's into dirt bikes and all kinds of motorized, two-wheel.
He's a wild man, that
apparatus. So he's crazy that way. But yeah, you definitely need a license. You can't just go rent it like you can rent a car.
Wow. Well, I think it sounds really exciting. I
think Charlie needs to get on the back of one, and you can have your nice ombre hair flowing in the wind.
Well, you never know. You never know. I don't know that that's really on our bucket list, but I'm not saying that we wouldn't do that, But I'm not a skydiver, so I'm not going to be jumping out of planes, and God forbid I'd have to, No,
I'm with you on that. Can we change subjects completely?
Please.
You heard about Bieber's arrest?
Okay, I saw that, and they cut to footage of him with the monkey next to him. I'm like having these visions of him trying to be like Michael Jackson or something.
Well, he didn't get arrested for hanging with a monkey. He actually got arrested for something pretty serious. But just as a viewer of television, Are you over him? Or do you care?
I'm way over it.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I sort of half listened to the story because it was on, and I took that moment to talk about something else with Charlie. I mean, it was kind of like, really? Again, there's the monkey. I tuned out after that. That poor little monkey's going, Daddy, where are you going? They're taking you off to jail.
I'm always so curious because my husband and I have this debate. I'm always so curious for all of you listening to the Moll Show right now. We live in this celebrity-driven culture, and these magazines make a fortune, and I am definitely to blame as well. When I get on an airplane, I always buy In Style and People, and I read through them. TMZ is doing so well. You got Entertainment Tonight. But in the scheme of things, do people really care? Or
apparently.
I'm always surprised that industry does so well sometimes.
Yes, but this is a very voyeuristic country. It's. I hate to say it, but I was really appalled. I had a really stressful thing happen yesterday. When I was at the hair salon, all of a sudden, people started talking about this poor girl who jumped off a building in Beverly Hills on Camden Drive. And I have to tell you, within just a few minutes, the speculation from people on why she jumped, how she jumped, the stories. Here this poor girl jumps off this building. People are videoing it, and people are showing it and sharing it. I'm like, I don't want to see it. I don't want to know. And let's just all stop talking about it until the story comes out and what happened. You may never know what happened, but the voyeuristicness of what is happening in the country is really disturbing. And the fact that a young girl is standing and she was naked on top of this building. The story of what supposedly she was talking about is completely different than what people were speculating, first of all. And we don't know everything yet, but what is wrong with us when we're standing there taking video of someone's life falling apart?
Yeah, I don't get it either, Moll. And gosh, that's a tragedy. That's awful. I didn't even hear about that.
Yeah, well, it'll probably be in national news today and throughout the week as the story unfolds. But it was really kind of, it's part of this voyeuristicness that's taken over, and the negativity and the need to see something thrilling in people's minds instead of just good news. It's like, what happened to good stories and wanting to know, instead of people thinking, gosh, this poor girl. My heart just went out to her and her family, immediately, instead of everyone going, oh, what a stupid this, and, he shouldn't have done that, and, over a guy, or, people were so easy to judge, And so,
well, that's why, you think back to the bike trip we just talked about. In the scheme of things, what matters? Spending time with people that you care about, being outdoors, looking around, soaking it all in, and that's really, at the end of the day, what matters.
And life is short, and we got to live, and we got to have that list, and we got to do fun stuff, and that's why we got Tara and her fabulous travels that she does, excursions across the country. It's always a pleasure to have my girl on.
Great to talk to you, Moll. Don't forget, get on TaraOnTV.com. Shameless plug.
That's right, TaraOnTV.com and Phoenix Magazine. Check it out online to get all the info on her bike trip, as I'm sure you're all waiting with bated breath to go do that. Thanks, Tara.
Thanks, Moll.